Really interesting. Wow. Yeah, really interesting how he considered the fold so heavily because people just under bluff in these $400 tournaments. It's really, really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, what are his bluffs? You know, like if we really think about it, like sure, ace high, like ace high has some showdown value if you had ace five, and when he raises the turn with maybe some backdoor diamond draw or something like that, he actually gets called. And on this kind of board, like what hands do you have that you're folding?
And it's gonna have some misdraws and things too. So I think calling is the only option myself. Let's see if Boogaloo got away from it. Ooh, call is 6.
So this is close between call.
Really interesting. So call is 6, raise is 7,500 is 10 points. And I'm going to say he said that because this is a very bad player. And so he thinks the very bad player is going to stack off here with worse queens a lot. I'm going to guarantee that's what he's going to say. Very interesting, though. I thought call for sure was the right answer. I never am in this spot. I don't know. Interesting spot, too. I think this is a little bit of a lesson for everyone out there, too. A lot of times, the hands we want to float with, like this one, are better as raises. So this kind of falls in that category.
Yeah, and he was kind of an echo chamber for us there, saying, you know, we just get better hands to call and worse to fold. Yep. Like he's going to have some gut shots in his range. He's going to have spade draw. He's going to have king X. And we kind of, I mean, we kind of identify kind of what cards are going to be bad for us on future streets, and we're aware how to proceed on those cards.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's a very good point, man. You right.
That was the best. You didn't say anything. You won. Just straight up.
You won. I'm just spewing.
All right, so ooh, look at this. You're not opening this. You just looked at this. You're not opening.
Button cut off, hijack, low jack, under the gun one. You are right.
Come on now. Okay. I am. So let's see if he.
He's got to open it, or there wouldn't be a hand.
You wouldn't
I'm
be a
already
quiz.
down on points.
You're already down on points in real life. Now, obviously, you're gonna cheat, but
I'm gonna evolve.
you're gonna adapt, right?
All right, let's play it.
I'm going to cry if he says he's folding here. Like, if he's like, yeah, you should be folding this in this kind of tournament, and you were actually right. All right, cool.
Wah, wah.
Like a spot where we have
Ah!
standard,
Yes.
and the reason is because queen.
I just want to say for the record that this is the best 3-point score I've ever gotten in my life. Because the right answer was fold.
Right? But you heard what he said about the tables. This is a 3K.
Here comes the excuses. 10
The
points
excuses
fold.
to
It says
open,
right
if your
here.
table is particularly tight and weak, welcome to the $5 2K world. I mean, you know, the $11 10K. I'm opening this, yeah, for sure.
This is the best 3 points of my life.
That's hilarious. And everybody's
Nailed it. What the hell kind of play is that from King Queen? Who does that?
Who the hell? Yeah, so Mad Dog.
Jonathan Little's an absolute crusher, so it's nice to have him.
Yeah, I agree, and I
He's
always
just
love
coaching.
playing right after sessions like this because I feel like my brain's warmed up. I'm thinking through things, and so it's a good way to start your session for sure.
But, all right, guys, this is it.
What's up, Mike? You want to give a gist? He was saying Narco Cop was playing about depipping about 28% of hands. He had been very aggressive in this $10 buy-in, and here are the options to fold, to call, to raise to 1,200, raise to... What? Wait a minute, he made it 800, and my man's giving options to 12 and 1,400 ounces. So it's already getting kind of spicy. That's so nasty. To be on a site with these other crushers, you know, well-known poker public figures is pretty exciting, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I didn't mention that when I was kind of giving a little intro here too. You know, Assassinato, Matt Affleck, John Little, all coaches on the site, so very highly respectable, quality poker content.
Yep, Evan Jarvis as well. You know, remember Evan Jarvis, Matt Affleck, Assassinato, John Little.
Yeah, so I guess that just makes sense. He could just have the ace of clubs in his hand. That's interesting, though. I
How
thought
many
that was
points you got?
interesting.
You didn't do that bad. 45.
I like how you just pat me on the back. You didn't do that bad. Well, yeah, good job, buddy. Like,
The back.
I remember I got the higher score in the first one. So, you know, we're 1 for 1, buddy.
I just want to know.
Calling, guys. Let's see if we're good.
Similar situation. That's pre-flop? I think pre.
All right, guys, we're checking, I guess. Oh, for fuck's sake.
When you're facing a min raise or just a touch more than a min raise, and there's an ante in play, which is going to be the case in most tournaments, I think, going forward, you want to defend pretty wide. If your opponent's making a 2.
All right, cool. You're going 1,400.
I'm going 1,400, guys.
I'm gonna go call with the arm and just see what happens.
All right, and
I would fold in game though, for the record, in case that's for winning it.
You won. You win. I have to concede. You win.
14K.
14K, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Well, no, we cannot win. This is a pretty rough spot because damn it.
Mm-hmm. Where do you gonna get my chat? They like naughty things. They like just beer, alcohol, you know.
All right, let's do I can do a $10 ACR giveaway.
$10 ACR giveaway courtesy of my man Toe. For me beating that ass heads up in this. Sorry. No, I'm kidding. We'll do this. We'll have to do it at least once a week, man. And then, you know, we'll do it. We'll do it every week a couple times.
So it's a tie.
I guess we got to give out $10 to each other's communities. We'll just do our own $10 free roll for each. Or does that sound fair?
Yes. Do you know what this means?
You win. I give his chat $10. Take it.
So that's cool
Filthy
because we have
animal.
2 ties and then a win from you and a win from me. This is like the epic battle. It's perfect. It's great.
Yeah, we're even Stevens.
This is awesome.
Take it.
I love it.
You know,
Stop. We got a giveaway going. Let's run the giveaway for the $10 ACR winner. Closing the giveaway. Drawing the winner. My man Sebs are getting the $10 ACR giveaway for this one. We're live. We're here for the study stream. Oh shit, drugs. We're here. Oh my god, the morning with this liquor at. What's up, guys? Ginger in the house. Cyrus in the house. Homies Nuts in the house. All the Toe Army in here. Matt, I see you. I see you. Holy Jesus. Fallon, what's up? Showing the love. Now you said it didn't start yet. We're here. We're here. We're here. We're here. We're here. We're ready to go. This is PokerCoach.com study session stream. We got special guests today. FatTrain. I'm going to come off mute and bring him in early. I hope Sixes has me muted. What's up, buddy?
Oh, you don't have to mute it, but there he is. That's fine.
You ready, Sixes?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah, I try not to do too much of an intro because I know we want to do the PokerCoaching.com spiel together.
Let's do that. I agree. I agree.
Man. So yeah, this is the PokerCoaching.com stream. Like I said, exclamation point PC in my chat, exclamation point PC in the Sixes chat, and you can get a link to sign up for free to get 20 free homework or 20 free quizzes, a bunch of homeworks, big blind charts for 100 blinds or more. You get quizzes from me, you get quizzes from Sixes, you get quizzes from Jonathan Little, Assassinato, Lexi Gavin, Matt Affleck, Evan Jarvis, Jared Jaffe. The list goes on. Acevedo, Tristan Wade. I know I'm forgetting people, but there's a shitload of them. There's staking opportunities. Sign up for free. You can also go for the premium, where there are now 866 quizzes. So just a shitload of content from a shitload of crushers, cash games, tournaments, the works. Did I miss anything, Sixes?
Nah, man, you actually nailed it this time. So
Hey.
yeah, there's a lot of stuff for free as well. So I would definitely say check that out. And then the premium stuff, the webinars are
Webinars
amazing.
multiple times a week.
Dude, yeah, I mean, multi times a week, a bunch of different subjects. And we've been getting in there, watching those kind of as a group or together and kind of picking those apart and learning from them. So I think it's a lot of value there.
Absolutely. Today's special guest, we have Justin FatTrain Kelly. How you doing, Justin?
Hey, good. How you guys doing?
Good,
man.
buddy.
For those of you that don't know, Justin is announcer and extraordinaire for all things ACR, does Costa Rica, does the charity events. You want to let them know about yourself, anything I may have missed, and anything you want to promo you got going on?
I mean, no, pretty much I love talking poker, man. I love sharing the love of the game. In fact, I will be launching a new kind of daily show here coming up on America's Card Room's Twitch channel probably in the next week or two. That's just going to showcase some really, really cool stuff, some big action that happened the day before, big tournament wins, stuff like that, in a really kind of cool, like night show-esque format. So that's coming together really nicely, so make sure you be on the lookout for that. Other than that, yeah, I love 2 cards. I love spewing in 4 cards since I'm pretty new to that, but it's always good times.
Yeah, I would say totem blow. Totem blow. It's too. You know what? I figure like I'm a semi-pro tournament player, and so I have enough fucking variance in my life.
right. It's like, okay, you want more variants? Cool, good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah, here we go. A little bit more gamble. It's so crazy.
Matt says Plo is cool hold'em. Cool, Sixes. You want to kick this sucker off and do a quiz?
Yeah, so we're going to do some quizzes here. If you're new, feel free to give your opinion on how you would proceed in these hands, how you would react and why. Don't be shy out there, boys. Some of this stuff is standard for most. And some people, still struggle in these spots. So I think we can all get better together. And, obviously we'll give our input. So, yeah, it should be good.
Yeah, this is what Sixes always say. Calling all chat bros. This is your
Calling
time to shine.
it's your time to shine, chat
Now
bros.
is the
Don't
time.
shine.
Not when we're 12 tabling.
Exactly.
And then what we usually do is Sixes chat competes against my chat. Whichever chat wins, we will do a $10 giveaway, either ACR or PayPal, whatever works best for you. So there you go.
Ooh, they
What quiz number
converted
should we do?
stack to big blinds over here on the side. That's kind of a new little thing. But yeah, I'm looking now. 1, 2. There's a lot more cash stuff, man.
Yeah.
Let's kind of $11 15K. The tournament everybody in this shit has played almost on ACR. It has to be the first one we do, and we get it out the way early with the Alex one since it could be a 20-minute quiz.
It's going to be a 20-minute quiz, and he's going to melt your brain.
And he's gonna melt your, but it's online, so he doesn't have those live read variables that
So
we
we
have
can
to get
like
through.
glare at the dealer and check the guy drinking a Red Bull.
Yeah, no, that's my favorite. But yeah, this should be good.
Cool. So
let's do
that
it.
is number 861.
The
Let me
old
know when y'all-
$11 15K.
Let me know when
All right.
y'all ready, and we'll click play.
All right, I'm gonna mute and then we'll play it. I'm ready.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Hey everybody. So in this hand, you're playing the $11 entry, 15,000 guaranteed America's Card Room Tournament. You have 3-3 on the cutoff. You are facing a raise by the low jack. He's been loose and somewhat aggressive. You've only observed about 20 hands. He's played a good 6 or 7 of them. He typically is the raising party. You have 77,631 chips at 400, 800 with a 100 ante. Here, pre-flop, would you like to fold, call, raise to 46.45, or raise to 50.50? 5,050.
So many mute buttons to hit. All right, cool. Yeah, we know it's low. Alex is always a little low. That's why we're getting them out of the way early. Those guys who we always say, those guys who don't stream don't know how to project their voice. When they make these videos. Something. It's a acquired talent. The three of us do this shit for a living.
Exactly. I'm used to like talking loud and talking a lot. So
Absolutely.
all right, what are we thinking here, chat? Don't be shy, boys. You guys 3-betting the threes. We're very deep here. You said this guy has been slightly aggressive, if I remember correctly. He's got a huge stack, or do we just want to set mine?
Or fold.
Or full.
Whoa, you
Yeah.
calm down with all that fold talk. Winners don't
I'm
fold.
just saying it's an you can't win if you
One
have
of
a
the
pot.
options.
Calls just streaming through my chat. Drug says call.
So effectively, we have what, about 100 bigs, give or take, close to it.
Yeah.
90
Yeah,
something.
about that, like 95 or something
Ish.
like that. Ish.
I have nothing but calls streaming through my chat. This is how I got knocked out last night, says Event Horizon.
97 bigs, boys.
I mean, fold is an option, Drug. It's a little flick of the finger, right? You just click the little button. Maybe not be the best option, but it's an easy option.
Hey, you can't lose if you fold, guys. I mean, it's true.
Yeah,
So
so
no,
I'm
it's
just
not
seeing
bad. I mean,
46, 45. I
I'm
mean, what are you
calling
thinking
too.
here?
We're super deep. Let's spike a 3 and get his ass. And no reason to raise, right? We don't want to blow a pot with this and then c-bet an ace high flop and then, or queen high flop and then a king comes on the turn. Now we're double blurring the good bluff card and we're in this like 40 blind pot with fucking threes.
That's very accurate. That sometimes is my
As in-
life, and I just can't stop myself.
Yeah, once you get into the spot where you 3-bet here and he calls, you feel compelled to c-bet a lot, and then you're going to find yourself double barreling, trying to represent it stronger. Nonetheless, I think I do just end up calling here a lot. Does your decision kind of change based on the players behind? Like if any of these guys are 3-betting more at 90 bigs, you're just probably always going to be taking a set mine with threes.
15,000 guaranteed.
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, I could see this. I mean, some of the more aggressive players could see this as like a raise fold spot, just where you 3-bet, because that could also essentially open up like a free flop coming your way. Most of the time, your opponents, if they do continue your 3-bet, that they're going to just check to you on the flop. And then if you get 4-bet, you can just get away. But I am definitely probably leaning more on the call side and just do a little set mining, because if he does have some monstrous hand and you flop that sneaky set of threes, I mean, you can get a lot of value there, especially being in position on the original aggressor.
I agree.
Love it. Hold'em nuts brings up a good point. If you fold, you lose in slow motion.
Well played.
Valid point. Cool. We're calling. Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. We're calling.
If you said fold, that's a little tight, but I get that some people they want to be the raising party or they're going to fold. I think that's really too tight, though. Calling is the preferred option, but I feel by the masses, but I feel the reason for that is most people just don't want to be criticized when they play poker, and they don't want to feel stupid. Nobody wants to feel as if they're lesser than. So what most people do is they call, they pay a small amount, they see if they can hit the flop, and then they continue from there, which is essentially reduces no limit hold'em to a lottery that doesn't really give you many ways to win other than hitting the flop, so I'm not a big fan of that. So really, if you called here, that's fine. You do have set odds. The thing being, though, when somebody has 225k chips, they're in an $11 tournament, they're most likely playing for fun. They're going to be opening a great deal there. In an $11 tournament, it is extremely unlikely someone behind you knows how to cold 4-bet or do something of that nature to get you off your hand. Now, they might cold call you, but that's okay. You do have something if that happens, but for the most part, this person tends to be opening 20-25% of the hands. You have a hand that's not terrific, but it's a good enough excuse to 3-bet someone and to take them post-flop. Most of the money you will be making will be on the flop, reading the flop, getting them to fold their high cards. That is how you make money in No Limit Hold'em. You don't leave things to chance. You manufacture pots where you win without anybody seeing your cards. You don't really need much of anything at that point. We just choose hands like pocket threes to make sure we're not doing it just every single hand and it becomes blindingly obvious what we're doing. Now, then the question becomes, what 3-bet should we use? My personal standard is, what's the largest amount they'll call out of position that will feel weirder for them to 4-bet? Making it 50,050 there, just in my experience, has gotten many more calls and fewer 4-bets, where if you make it 46, 45, people feeling, 11, 12, not that bad. I don't really think Hero has it. Whereas if you go 50-50 and 5,050. Now they're looking at a 13K, 14K 4-bet. It's not really that much of a difference, but it does seem to have an effect on people. So you do have to make sure when you have aces, kings, or queens, you go big too. But fortunately, you'll get a reputation as a bit of an action player, and that shouldn't be an issue. So let's go to 5,050 here. And we do so. And villain calls. Villain calls, and the board comes 2-5 queen. And he checks to us. Now here, would we like to check? Would we like to bet 3850 into 12,200? Bet 5,500 into 12,200? Or bet 7,850?
All right, guys. So for those of you that couldn't hear, he basically said he's going
All right, hold on.
to 3-bet this because he's Alex Fitzgerald and he's going to own an $11 buy-in.
Mhm.
Calling the more standard option. But already he's going a little cray-cray in the morning. So next question is, see bet or no? What do you guys think?
See better check, boys. What are we doing?
I got 30.
BQ says, do we even have fold equity here, like pre-flop on our 3-bet? Yeah, absolutely. He may open a hand like ace deuce or some bullshit and just fold to our 3-bet. Absolutely.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you, even when you think you don't have fold equity, sometimes you see people fold in a spot where you're like, this guy could never fold, and so like you'd be surprised sometimes.
The king, queens off,
Yeah, absolutely, man.
offs, like stuff like that. Although we are deep, so maybe they call a little lighter, but even still, they're gonna shake a little bit to a 3-bet, right?
Yep.
I got a few 5,500s in the chat and a 3850.
Small. I see a C-bet small in my chat. What are we doing, boys? What size? We got a C-bet like 5,500 equals half pot. We have to on the board so dry. Rastus says 5,500. I'm assuming for a little bit more protection to stop floats, and he's a little deeper.
Yeah, I'm using my handy dandy calculator.
Ah, you got that. I hear you clicking the buttons. I love it. I hear the buttons clicking. Yeah, for me personally, you know, I can get behind 3,850 or 5,500. Either one. I think maybe his continuing range continues inelastically to either of these small bets. So maybe even I just go smaller and he does have a pair. We lose a little bit less, and we probably still just get folds with both size bets. I do think his ace highs call, but that's good for us. Like, we're still getting value from that hand. So yeah, I don't hate going 3,850 on the board this try, but I could see 5,500 Alex wanting to utilize a little bit more fold equity versus floats, and then just cleaning up our equity. So I'm thinking he goes 5,500, but I could see 3,850.
Yeah, I'm kind of around that 5,500 mark as well. I mean, on that, that's just like everybody in the chat saying. I mean, that's such a dry board, right? So it's like, especially since you 3-bet and you already established like a dominating hand pre, that could very easily be any sort of ace king, ace queen, maybe queen king suited, or maybe even a big pair. Maybe even, you know, okay, king. If it's not kings or aces, still could be like jacks or something. So I think really hard for him to continue without a queen here, and there's not really a whole lot of other draws. Sort of like he's not calling you pre with like 3-4. He's not open ended. And even if he does have one of those ace rags, he's got a 5 or deuce at best, or a crappy gut shot wheel draw. Like, I'm c-betting probably at 5,500 the majority of the time here.
Yeah, I mean, he's still going to continue no matter what with like some suited ace with the back door, and then his pairs are going to continue like no matter what, because he will have some 6s, 7s, 8s. They didn't want to 4-bet 9s maybe as well, and 10s that they don't want to just 4-bet get in. So they can certainly have some of those pairs, and I think those kind of hands are going to continue no matter what if we go 38 or 55. But, you know, I don't think we get check raised a lot here either. So, yeah, I'm kind of conflicted with the size. I think 55 is probably best, but...
Interesting. I would go 38.50 myself, too.
Me
because
too.
of the dry board and all that. But we're super deep, so going 5,500 is totally standard. I know we want to size up our bets in general when we're super deep. So I know, like, our small bet's supposed to be somewhere around half pot, and our big bet's supposed to be somewhere around 2/3 pot. And this was definitely a small bet spot. So 5,500 definitely makes sense.
Yeah, my problem is this, like, they're going to continue the same range that calls 5,500 is going to call 3,850, and I think both those same ranges that we want to fold are just going to fold regardless, right, for the same price. So I don't know. I'm like a little torn. I think I'm going to go 3,850, even though I think it's wrong, and I think Alex, because this is what I would naturally do. So
Cool. Couple shots. Arena Runner, what's up? What's up? What's up? T-Chip, what's up? On for Poker, what's up? Jonas C says, fold if we're check raised. Absolutely. Because this is a dry board, right? Like, what's he check raising that? There's no draws out there or anything. So we're just dead, basically. And if he does that with ace king, good on you.
Yeah.
I'm going to go 5,500 just because I really want to beat sixes in the giveaways today. But I could totally see 38.50, and that's probably what I would do.
Yeah, I mean, now you got me wanting to win, you son of a bitch. Now I want to go.
It's the quiz level.
Now I'm just gonna spike go 5,500. All right, let's do it. I'm
All
ready.
right, clicking.
Yep. I'm still gonna stick to my gun.
With 38.50 right now, and I'll break that down in just a second. So we go to 38.50, and Villain has typically been playing pretty fast while you've seen him play. Usually just a couple of seconds for a few decisions. This one takes about 7 seconds. And Villain calls. Turn is the 9 of spades. Villain goes ahead and checks you. Here on the turn, would you like to check? Bet 5,375. Bet 10,375. Or bet 15,375.
I'm running away scared.
Got his ass, Seabass. 38.50. We picked it.
He got us.
Go.
All right, guys, we're gonna have to come back. Hold 'em nuts. Continuing the gift sub. Thank you for that.
I think we want them to fold, so why not bet larger? Because we don't know if they're going to fold. I think their range is that's going to continue, kind of like we discussed, is going to continue no matter if we bet 38 or 55. So we give ourselves a better price when we're beat, and the folding range still folds no matter what, right? And if he does call with something that we're beating, it's fine. Like, we just got value, so it's okay.
The other good thing about going the smaller bet is that a card like this is a decent double barrel to get is like 7s, 8s, 6s, jacks, 10s to fold.
That's
And so if
exactly
we're going
what
to
I was
double barrel, we can go smaller so we can keep the pot under control when we fire the second bullet. So another good reason for the 38, whatever the fuck it was, 38.50. All right, guys, so here we are. Are we double barreling the 9? I kind of just gave it away. And if so, what size?
What are we doing, boys? I mean, Toe, you probably know me, so you probably know what I'm doing here.
This is where we might deviate, my friend.
Yeah, but you know what I'm probably doing.
53.75. You know someone too well. I mean, shit, Sixes and I study 5 days a week together. I know. I could take these quizzes as sixes, and I'm sure you can take these quizzes as me.
Pretty much.
Betting larger, says D-Chip, 10.375, sticking with the story. Third pot says sell a bunch of 53.75s. Matt's going down the rabbit hole with 10.375. What do you think, Justin?
I'm actually at the 10K mark too, and this could potentially be a leak in my game because sometimes I just can't help myself from a good double or triple barrel. But, you know, at the end of the day, like, I think you were absolutely hit the nail on the head. That's what I was thinking. Like, my 10K bet here is like my last stand, right? I'm just like, look, you either have a queen or you don't. I'm going to blow you off the majority of almost everything but a queen or a set. And if you continue here on the turn, then you're probably just the hero that, you know, we're all looking for.
Yeah,
so
basically,
better on you.
As I always say, like, I have the queen unless you say you have the queen, and then I was just kidding. Drugs at 375, on poker 10.375. Sixes is going to go to smaller bet, right?
Yeah, I mean, this all smaller bet's going to get me to showdown. I don't think his 10s, jacks, 8s. Maybe if we go larger, we start to make maybe 7s and 8s fold. That would be my question. Maybe a player this sticky, this deep is just not folding to 10K. His ace highs and hands like that did continue on a flop. We bet one more time. Kind of get value from those, get those to fold out. But it's kind of controlling the size of the pot. And then I'm probably just always going to track back river as well. But, you know, I think if we go 10K, if we could potentially set up a river jam as well. So that's kind of interesting. Like if the ace rolls off on the river, you know, it wouldn't be a crazy overbet. So maybe 10K is just good, you know.
This is funny because Sixes and I were looking at height stats a few weeks ago, and we saw that he had a lot of triples and I had a lot of doubles. And the reason is because I'm on Team Justin with this one where I'm going to bomb the shit out of this for all the reasons that he mentioned. He hit it on the right on the head.
Yeah, I like that.
And now
yeah.
I don't need to triple anymore because I narrowed his range to the point where this motherfucker ain't folding. Unless he
Yeah,
folded us with like
Right.
Jack 10 of hearts, Jack 10 of spades, Jack 10 of diamonds. And
Yeah, I don't think 5K is. I mean, his ace highs that we were trying to get to fold, one more 5K bullet might do that, and then all the pairs that are continuing no matter what. But the 10K allows us to, put in an extra 20,000. So if the river does come a bad scare card for him, we then have an easy just bluff jam. Like if it comes an ace, I'm just jamming. No.
And then he snap calls with the ace high draw, who then picked up spade draw on the turn, and he's just like, "Oh, okay, I'm hanging."
Yep. Yeah. So I think I like kind of 10K. I think a 10K is probably best. I think 5K doesn't really do much.
You're right. I think 5K just seems kind of like a weird, almost wasted chips. It's like 5K is so small relative to the pot size.
And it's interesting with the 5K is like the range that continues on the flop. This 9 doesn't change anything on the turn, and we're giving him a damn good price once again, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I agree. I think 10K is good. 10K is 3-1, but at the same time, it gives us an opportunity to jam some rivers. Like we hit our 2-outer, an ace. A king's kind of questionable, but I would consider it if he checked.
I feel like 15K looks way too bluffy, especially when we fire 3850 on the street before on the flop, and then all of a sudden we beef it to 15. I feel like that's so polarizing. It's like a monster or nothing.
Yeah,
it's like a monster.
What value are you getting there? It's weird.
Yeah.
And he still has Queen X in his range. I mean, we can't just go crazy here. He still has a lot of Queen X symmetry hands that might call a 3-bet. So I don't think we can go crazy with our bet here.
Very true.
I'm going 15K. So yeah, I think 10K might be good. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Clicking.
Right now we're going to bet 5,375, and I'll tell you why that is in just a second. He calls after a couple of seconds of deliberation, and the river is the 6 of hearts, and he checks to you. So here, would you like to check? Would you like to bet 8,650 into 30,650? Would you like to bet 10,650, or would you like to bet 12,650?
I'm a little shook with this quiz, not so much because of the action, but because Alex only has 30 seconds exclamations, 2 videos in a row.
This is weird. Yeah, these are the quickest videos I've ever. So this last one is going to be 7 minutes. Yeah, it's got to be 7.
Yeah, so Alex decided to go small bet. He said big bet was 7 though, so not too far off, right? Like 7's a decent option. He's gonna do things a little differently. One thing is when we go small again now, like everyone was saying earlier, like we kept in more of his range. I know what I'm doing. What are you guys doing? Rat Dad giving up? Ginger says she's never gonna be Alex.
Sheesh.
Matt giving up?
I mean, I don't like any of these bet options. None of them are half pot. And I mean, to open up the action here, give all of it a good price to call again. Like, what's the? I mean, if I'm a bet here, I want to go half pot plus. So
exactly, and so now it narrows you from firing 3,800 on the flop, 5,300 on the turn, and now what? I'm just supposed to barrel like 15K.
Give him 3. He's getting 3.5 to 1. If he got 12K, where he's getting 12.5 to 3.5 to 1. No, I'm sweet, man. I think I'm checking. I don't know.
I'm checking.
Yeah, let's just check.
I'm definitely checking.
What are you guys doing in chat? Would anybody barrel any of these bet sizes? I just don't like the bet size. If you had maybe a bigger one, maybe I would like that. But I don't think any of these. I mean, he's getting 3.5 to 1 if we go 12, right?
Yeah, D-Trip says, shipping the river, but nothing changed. Says, Alex plays some stiffer competition than you, except this is an $11 ACR tournament.
Which is what I was going to ask. So if this is 1,000 or if this is an $1,100 high roller, I mean, do you play this totally different?
Nope. I played the same. I flat pre.
Yeah.
Bet flop if he checks. Probably give up if he c-bets.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just checking in position here. I don't think there's We don't get called by
No,
any
we
worse
never get
hands.
called by worse ever.
Ace deuce just looking you up, or ace high, ace
All these
jack high,
sizes are so weird.
ace jack high, or something like that. But yeah,
What's gonna suck here is I check and he just flips over the 5 and he's like, "I'm a hero," and we're like, "Great."
yeah. All right, I'm checking.
Drug says turn bet small and give up is horrid, but doesn't give a bet option. Can't give up now 12K, he says. He did give the bet option. Yeah, this whole hand is weird, Drugs.
I agree.
Oh, don't worry, boys. I clicked my answer, and you have your 11-minute explanation coming up.
Oh my
no,
goodness.
is it really 11 minutes?
Here it goes, boys. Buckle up, sit back, get your coffee. Here.
I mean, all right. So let's
Story time.
let's make an executive decision right now, guys. Are we going to listen to 11 minutes?
He starts back at the flop already, so we're already going back to the recap.
Oh, no.
We knew this was gonna happen, man. I told you it's gonna be a 20
It was too good to be true. He saved it for the end.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Did we just get slow rolled in a quiz?
We did.
Yeah, we did. We got slow road. That's so good, man. All right.
Are we listening to the whole 11 fucking minutes?
Why is it so hard? Poker's hard. I guess. I don't know, Chad.
There's
I don't
gonna
want
be
to.
insight.
A minute or two.
I'll be 100% honest with you. We're 40 minutes into this, and I don't want to listen to 11 minutes.
That's what I was thinking.
I'm ready for the next one.
All right, cool.
All right,
Let's check and see what
we're
happens,
just-
and then I'm gonna whiz through and give you the recap. Don't.
All right, cool.
So before I get to the river play, I'm just going to start right here on the flop. So one of the most common refrains I get when I
All right, we're skipping that part.
so quickly. Anyway, I pull out my laptop and I'll play an $11 tournament. I'll play a
Oh, Jesus.
Godzilla.
Oh Jesus.
It's one of the easiest
His continuing
games.
range crushes threes.
Most people's opening range.
All right, next quiz.
Pretty much their 3-bet calling.
He can bet twice, and he had enough ace highs. Yeah, I mean,
I skipped to
enough.
where he put up Flopzilla, and I said his continuing range crushes threes, and then let's go to the next quiz.
Yeah, I mean, 11 minutes is a long time in this, bro, to
That's
be
too much.
listening.
That shit's crazy.
Yeah, it's not good for the stream, but at home when you're just doing quizzes by yourself, it's great, but not for this format.
Recap. You're beat.
Jeff Jam in the you see that Jeff Jam in the chat recap. You're beat. Next.
Yep. Done.
Yeah, if you want to listen to this on your own time, the number we just did for that quiz, if you got the free access or whatever, that was 861.
There you go. It was funny when we
861.
did this with Matt. We didn't realize at the time, but Matt grew up with Alex. They grew up in the same neighborhood. And so they were
Yeah.
study partners coming up in the game. And even Matt was making fun of Alex, saying, like, this is where this is
Just
gonna
of his.
better go get a sandwich. I
I
guess
wonder
he's-
if they
he's
ever had
always
some
been this way.
epic home rap battles. I wonder if they ever had
God,
that.
imagine. All right, cool. It's my turn to pick one.
Yes, sir.
Let's go with Trusty Jonathan. He never.
The 1500 live.
Yeah, 860 looks good.
The Alex quizzes just confound me sometimes, confuse you sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Alex is a world-class player. We talk about this. We talk about this all the time. But he's there's the guys who do the standard GTO things and then exploit one way or the other, and then there's the guys who are just Picassos. And you can pretty much teach someone to paint a landscape, but you can't really teach someone to be fucking Picasso. Alex, Ryan LaPlante, those guys are Picassos. They make crazy money. They have amazing success, but they do it differently than everybody else. And the good thing about that too is like you see a bunch of different angles of this game, right? There's no one way to win, and there are people out there that are playing this way, so you want to arm yourself against them as well, you know.
Yeah, you want to be fundamentally sound, but you can certainly have some philosophical differences in how you approach certain situations than other players, and and have your own style. You don't have to play like anybody. That's the beauty of this.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Jonathan's 1500 860 is the one, right?
Yes.
Cool. Jonathan's a content creator. He
It's a beast,
speaks
dude.
well. So let's play the sucker and see what happens.
Yep, let's do it.
Here we have 9-8 offsuit facing an under the gun raise from a tight player, 26 big blinds deep. This is in a $1,500 buy-in tournament. Should we fold, call, re-raise to 4,000, or re-raise to 6,000?
All right, boys, we got dog shit in the big blind. What are we doing? Versus a small blind limp.
Limp, min raise.
No, he just completed from the small
We're
blind.
looking at the same quiz here.
I'm at 866. Which one are you watching?
Oh, 860.
860.
Oh, piss.
We're like, wait, what are
We
you
were
looking
saying
at?
some players do it differently. We're like, wait, what?
Yeah, I'm like looking at 10-5 here. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I saw that other one on the quiz list. I'm like, wait a sec.
Basically, we're in the
That's
big blind with 8-9 offsuit, and we're facing a min raise, and everyone in my chat is defending.
All right, here we go. I'm calling. Wait a minute. Give me 2 seconds. Jeez.
This guy always has put 66 on the end of everything.
Another 1500. Tight. All right, there we go, boys. I'm good. I'm caught up now.
Cool. Everybody calling.
Yeah, I mean, call. Anybody
Says,
folding?
Really likes folding 2.
Yeah, I'm
You
never
see-
folding when I'm getting 5-1 on my money, and I'm never re-raising because A, I have 9 high, and B, I'm out of position for all future streets. So if anything, I'm just flat defending here.
Always.
Are you folding 8? So you said, are you folding 8-3 off?
Yeah,
8
God,
deuce 4.
probably,
Ace deuce off?
probably, yes.
So everything but the bottom, like 5% or whatever it is.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much because I just want. I'm okay with a drawing hand. 8-9's a drawing hand, right? Anything where you're just started like way gapping out more than 5-6 cards is just like we're done
Unless
here.
it's suited, because then you can hit
Yeah.
flushes.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Okay.
Everybody
Yeah, I agree.
Well,
Yeah, everybody's
bigs,
folding.
perfect. That way we can realize our equity feature. The cool thing about when you're on like even 20 bigs and less, and you're facing these min raises, and you have like some weak king, and there's only one raise in front of you, you can start calling with your weaker kings and queen X and things like that. Because if you hit top pair and go with it, and you're on a short stack, you're fine. You're going to realize your equity. The reason why we don't want to get in some of those spots when we're super deep, even though deep, I would still call this and try and spike the world. Just be careful with top pair and things. Is that when we get it in with a junky ace for 60, 70, 80 bigs plus, well, then our weak ace is just never good, But here, the shorter we are, the better.
Yeah, because we can realize equity easier, right?
You realize your equity, you just go with it. You're never making a mathematical mistake.
No, and I like that too. As far as like blind sizing, if you're around that 20 big blind mark or whatever, it is great because you don't get a chance generally to see a lot of flops for cheap with okay drawing hands in that spot. So when you do, like you said, if you spike the world or a good chunk of it, you can just grip it and rip it and hold on and hopefully find a double.
Yep. Got to make a move.
Yep.
So we're just calling. Everybody's calling, right?
All right.
That's
Yep.
what the cool kids are doing. Let's do it.
Yep.
I definitely like calling. There really is no other option in this scenario. I'm not turning this hand into a bluff. I am not folding because we're getting amazing pot odds. Let's just call and see the flop. Flop comes 9-7-5. Top pair plus a gut shot. Should we check? Bet 1,600. Bet 2,400. Or bet 3,800.
Ooh, anybody leading this out there?
Interesting spot.
Why
I
would
can
you?
tell you that like
I'm sorry,
this was
go
a
ahead.
limp.
Well,
spot.
because it's weird because it's such a coordinated board, right? That like if your opponent is opening under the gun, it's a tight opponent, right? Sure, they're going to be c-betting like obviously over pairs, but if they have a hand like ace king, ace queen, whatever, just a couple of paint cards, that board is super coordinated, and you're defending from the blind, so that's way more our range than theirs. So I mean, if we check and they check behind, do we lose value there? So there's
Also-
argument to lead on that point, but then again, if he does just have those high cards, I mean, you got to let him take a bluff at it because if we start firing heavy here, then is he really going to continue? Maybe he might float once.
That's a great argument too, and
Yeah, we start condensing his range, but at the same time, yeah, this board is certainly, and we put him in tough spots with hands that have good equity versus us, like ace, jack, ace, queens of the world, the king, queen suited and stuff like that. We start putting those in pretty tough spots by leading this board. He has tight EP, so he certainly can have a lot of overpairs. He's going to have nines in his range, sevens, probably opens pocket fives as well. So he has all the overpairs, the sets as well. But we have a lot of straights, flop straights, two pairs. So yeah, this is pretty good. I would probably tend to check here, but yeah, what are you guys doing? Chat.
I would definitely tend to check here to the aggressor. Although the lead is definitely interesting and just
Leading
about
small
a
into this board,
great
60. These are the kind of boards we can have a leading range in,
How long
right?
do you
Like
think
6-5, 3-5, 6.
Toe can talk to the mute button and not realize. I was like, yeah, Justin, yeah, sixes. My chat could hear me, but you guys couldn't fucking hear me. Too many mute
That's
buttons.
hilarious.
I was saying that if this was a limp pot, I would definitely lead here. And I thought Justin brought up a lot of good points. Is that this is a board that smacks our range, and a lot of the over cards and stuff are going to check this back a lot. And turns and rivers are generally going to be shitty. So the lead here is actually really, 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 really interesting. One for some value and two for some protection, and even I think like over pairs against the big blind, and then we lead out here. Like if I had aces, I'm probably
Going broke.
calling and not
What do you
raising.
mean? I mean, are you? I mean, I think a tight player here is going to have aces, and we're really going to get some honest responses from the very top of his range.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't think I'm just calling here. I think our hand's going to need protection. There's going to be so many bad turn cards for us if we call with just aces here. It's 9-7-5 rainbow. Like, just I'm raising for sure.
Because what I found myself too in this similar position is, let's say he's got two big paint cards. Let's say he's got, whatever, ace, king, king, queen suited. I check here, he checks behind because he's scared, and then he just peels his queen or king right in the turn, and then I'm like, well, shit.
Yeah, you're checking turn and river and hoping to hold up when you check a lot. Interesting. If you were, we're basically 25 bigs effective or so. So I could see raising the aces. If you were super deep, would you still raise them? And then just call a check raise?
Yeah, I was about to say, this is too shallow to not try to clean up our equity, right? It gets pretty, just think about all the bad turn cards, a 10, an 8, a jack, a 6, a 4, an 8, like everything sucks. So I would certainly be ripping in aces. Yeah, in this spot, for deeper, I think we can just call, maybe even just raise, and then see how it reacts. But
raise the lead or call a check raise and then evaluate turn if you had aces. And
yeah, something like that. Yeah. There's just no way I'm just going to fold it or allow him to. Maybe we could, but this board's still good enough to just bet call the check raise.
I say it all the time, guy. This crazy sixes guy is pretty smart. That's why I say it all the time.
There are 20
bets.
bets.
Like to check. I like the logic. We just don't have a leading range ever. I disagree. You should have some leading range sometimes. This is definitely a board that does it, especially one that smacks our range. It could put them in really awkward positions instead of us checking and facing awkward turns.
What size would you lead, Justin?
It's really, I don't know. I'm just like, am I going to get committed to this? Am I going to fire, get raised, and then just like rip it and cross my fingers? Like, I don't know. All right. You know what? Just for lack of a better choice, I'm just going to go with, let's bet 2,400.
You would go 2,400? Okay.
Yeah, let's fire it.
I
think it's a little overbet. It's more than half pot. I get it, but
I'm conflicted. In game, I think I check, but I like all the arguments for not checking a lot.
Yep. All right. I'm checking. I want to see what 2,400 or 1,600, because I would personally, if I am going to lead, go 1,600. But
yeah, if I'm going to lead, I'm going 24 because I really want, I'm okay getting folds.
But the same range, he's going to continue inelastically with his overpairs.
I guess 1,600 to 4,400, he might float you with.
That's good. We're ahead.
More stuff that has good equity against you. And you're giving a good price.
Yeah, I'm conflicted.
I'm all about the small bets now. You know me, sixes, but this one I think I'm a little scared.
Yeah, I know we're just still pretty short, but yeah, all right. I'm checking. Let's do it.
I want to bet 2,400 just because I want to see what the point is. But I think I would check in game, so I'm going to go 2,400 out of morbid curiosity.
Okay.
And if I got to pay at the end of this thing, whatever. I'm on the heater of all
That's worth it.
I like it. Let's do it. All right.
This is a spot where leading is certainly viable with some of my range, but the part I want to be leading with are the really good two pairs, all the two pairs. Also, I want to be leading with some gut shots that are not quite good enough to check call, like perhaps king 6, maybe king 8, maybe jack 8, stuff like, I guess jack 8 is open-ended, right? Which is probably good enough to check raise or check jam. So leading with a hand like king 6 is pretty good, because if I lead and get jammed, I can easily fold, but I don't really want to check and check call or check and check raise given the stacks. So leading with those hands becomes pretty nice. When I check, I'm checking with my sets and my one pair type hands, and I'm leading with the two pairs plus some sporadic gut shots. So this is not the hand to lead, because this hand can very easily check and then check call or check raise. So I check, and now the opponent bets 1,200. Should we fold, call, raise to 3,000, or raise to 4,000?
First off, I'm just gonna say anybody in the chat who says fold, I'm gonna go ahead and just take that option off the table here.
Oh, we ban him immediately.
Instant ban.
Just start banning users for bad guesses. That's pretty bad.
Hey, thanks for coming in and trying to learn with us. You're fired. Get out of here.
Get out of ban. Permaban. Ooh, a lot of check raises. Greater and BQ check raising to 4K. Fold. He has overpairs here. Weasley says.
Ban. Get him out of
There's
here.
a ban.
Listen to type player. Check call says sell. Position concerns fouling. Definitely a problem. Call. Never raise. Smooth call. Always like that. Smooth call. Oh, we looked it up. There was actually a definition of smooth call versus regular call. I don't remember what it was, but there was
I know somebody did. Yeah, I remember that.
we
I remember
Googled it last stream.
Yeah.
Raising to 4,000 says D-Check. He's not scared. Call. Kimmer's in the house. What's up? Don't
I'm
forget.
trolling.
I'm going to use this little time to do a promo. Kimmer's in the house. The Royal Flush Radio Group has their 3-year anniversary game on ACR at 6 Pacific, 9 Eastern. So make sure you tune into that, guys. There's bounties on people. There's a bounty on me. I'll be doing a little stream tonight for that, so tune in for that. What's up, Kimmers? Thank you for the resub, 24 months.
Yeah, make sure to check that out. That should be good, man. That Royal Flush Radio game. And
they got new ownership. Kimmers recently took over ownership of Royal Flush Radio, and she's making a bunch of changes that I can't talk about, but know some secrets. So stay tuned. They got a lot of good things going on over there.
Sweet.
Yep. So yeah, what are you doing here, Tal?
Strong hands that call for a trap is a smooth call. Once again, conflicted.
And his bet is so small too. I mean, he's
So
betting
small.
1.5 bigs.
And I feel like calling here sucks. Like the turns are gonna be awkward.
Yeah, then a random queen peels and you're like, nice hand.
Check call again, and then check and pray river that he doesn't bet. And hope you're not against toe, because if you start checking, I'm gonna bomb it. Yeah. Just call. Why let him see bet his entire range and float and hit his ace, king, queen, jack, anything else? Yeah, so I guess, I mean, if I raise this, I'm kind of jamming turns, right?
I mean, we're pretty much. I mean, obviously, if he
Raise
comes over the
this,
top
it's
of that,
gonna
we're like
be
committed.
like 4K. It's definitely going to be like 4K.
I kind of like raising against this tiny size. We benefit so much from equity denial, Weasley says.
Yeah.
I tend to put myself in villain shoes. 9-8. I'm shoving that since.
You're 24 behind, and there's 12 in there, so I guess we're not jamming turns.
Well, I mean, if you raise to 4K, it would cost him another 28, so he'd be down to like 17K ish. Right? Yeah.
So you can't really just awkwardly jam on us either. For pot and a half, I guess you can jam on us. I guess 4K. I kind of lean toward 4K.
I'm going 4K. I think 3K still actually kind of prices him in to float if he feels like floating with like an ace king or something. I don't know. So yeah, I'm with you on the 4K.
I'm just calling. We're just calling here. It's a marginal made hand. We have a lot of equity, and like we get to see another street for fairly inexpensive. We start raising and you get it in. We just have to get it in versus overpair. We're doing fine versus it, but
Fallon knows too much. She says if Toe's in late position and he bets here, I just call though because he knows better than to c bet this board. So he has an overpair and he's trying to trick me.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna raise to 4,000 and then throw my wallet on the table for the rebuy. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take that approach.
I mean, when we put 4K in there and he comes over the top, you just all right, shrug. I got a call.
Yep,
rebuy.
Let's go.
Yeah, so exactly. If he calls a raise, doesn't his continuing range have us crush him? And not really. We have some decent turn cards, right? An 8, a 9, a 6.
Well,
hell, even a 10 puts you open ended.
You know what's interesting? But let's think about like what a lot of those turns should do to his range. It should be freezing up every single one of his high card bluffs. Even some overpairs are going to be in tough spots because we're going to have a lot of 2-pair and straight out. So there's going to be a lot of cards that freeze up his action that are pretty good for our range as well.
Should we talk about planning for future streets, or do we want to wait till the quiz gets there? Because I have a good question about what we do if a high card comes on the turn, and I don't really want to spoil the quiz.
Yeah, I mean it's whatever.
Let's
Maybe
get to the
we
turn,
want to
and then
get
I'll,
let's
I'll
get
talk
to a
about
turn.
that D-trip.
All right, yep. You guys go 4K, and I'm calling. Let's do it.
Gotcha.
I definitely think raising is viable in this scenario. The idea that we're just going to be getting it in. I think we're a little bit too deep for that, though. If I was facing a, let's say, 3,000 bet on the flop, I just would have been all in. But facing this 1,200 bet, this is likely from a relatively wide range from my opponent who just thinks they have a very strong range advantage, which, may or may not be the case on this board, depending on how tight they are pre-flop. Either way, I'm kind of having alarm bells go off in this scenario, so for that reason, I think calling's probably better, but I could certainly get behind raising to 4,000 and then just not folding. So this time I do just call. Turn is the 4 of clubs. I'm going to be checking every turn. Even if I got there with a straight, I'm definitely just checking in this scenario. That said, if I drill the 6 on the turn, then leading could certainly be viable from a GTO point of view, but from the point of view of my under the gun tight opponent's just going to fold a ton, that's clearly not great. And if I turn an 8, well, I have 2 pair and I don't necessarily need to be bluffing, right? And if he's going to fold a ton, again, that's not so good. And there are no other turns that are especially scary that I could bluff on, and I don't need to bluff because I have top pair, right? So anyway, turns a 4. I check. Opponent bets 2,000. Should I fold, call, raise to 6,000, or raise to 9,000?
I love how Jonathan keeps saying, like, the way that Justin and I is totally viable and totally makes sense, and then he goes a different way.
Well, I mean, it's like when we're deep, we can check raise, but we can't get all the money in. Like, I get what he's saying. We can't
Makes
get
sense.
all the money in without him coming back over the top. And when he does that, his range is just nutted. I don't know.
Yeah, and you saw me and FatTrain
Means we have to call.
doing the math during the last session. I was like, shit, can we get it on the turn? It's kind of awkward. So
Yeah,
we
it's
kind
super
of
awkward.
touched on that a little bit.
Right.
What are you doing if a king comes on the turn, FatTrain?
I hate life. I mean, if a king comes on the turn, I just check call most likely in this particular thing. Basically, right here where I check, he bets 2K, and that 4 is really a king.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I probably still check call again because I have so many outs. I mean, you know what? If he spiked the king, so be it. But there's still enough money in there where I feel like I'm getting decent value to draw.
And then when we check raise to 4K and a king comes on the turn, are you check calling at that point?
Wow. That's such a weird spot because I already check raise and then I'm just like check calling. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
maybe we should have called the turn. Interesting spot. Here we're facing a 2K bet call from everybody in my chat. Nobody's raising here.
Yeah, it was just all calls, and we're getting 4-1. It's very simple. We could have the best hand in. We're getting 4-1. When we raise, what happens? We get better to call and worse to fold. When we raise, check raise turn here, we get a lot of better hands to call and worse to fold. We might make a handful of better hands fold because it looks super strong. But at the same time, I just think, yeah.
Yeah, the other weird thing too is like this guy is betting twice into a board that smacks our range, and he's labeled tight. So like, and he's betting these weird like leading value tiny type of bets.
Super small.
But at the same time,
but the good thing is it's so small, and we have so much equity in this hand, we just can't fold. So the only option, in my opinion, is to call.
Agree.
But I think we're probably beat here a lot.
What do you think his range is before we get to the river? What kind of range from a tight player would double barrel this small here?
Sets. Oh, God, do you think sets would go bigger, right? Because of the draws.
Yeah, because he wants to set up. The sets would go bigger, and the SPR is going to be well below 1.
Maybe something like
it's going to be 1
clubs.
point.
There's 1.
Yeah, overpairs some ace king of
I
clubs.
literally have nothing else. Maybe king queen of clubs.
You don't think you would do this with pocket 6s? Bet small on this board or pocket 8s,
not
even though we
against-
block 8s?
God, I just don't see bet these boards against big blind defend range very
8
much.
plus ace 10. You think
I
a
can see
tight
the
player-
argument of 6s, but then if I bet 6s, if I bet 6s on the flop, I probably would have gone a little bigger than 1,600. I'd go small, but bigger than that. And then on the turn, I would just try and check and realize with the open ender because I just don't think when the 4 comes, I don't think we're getting any folds.
Yeah, it didn't
that
change
board-
anything, right?
That board is so coordinated. Like if I'm in his shoes and I fire, let's call it a C bet on the flop, and I get looked up. Now the turn comes. I mean, I'm not firing air a lot of the time again here. I feel like my opponent, like that board, it was already in their range and nothing has changed with that turn.
Yeah,
So
it got better for him, right?
yeah, so if anything, like if I'm the villain here firing 2K, like I gotta think I have a pretty strong hand here. As far as just maybe an overpair. I don't think, is he really doing this twice with like ace king or something? I don't know.
10,
Only
yeah,
ace,
it's
only
like
ace king
10.
clubs, right? And then you would
Yeah.
think like he would, if he had like some overpair or something, or he would size up a bit because the board's scary a little bit. Like a lot of cards are gonna make it awkward for him or counterfeit his set or whatever. Weird.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I think we
guess we'll all
just call,
call here.
though.
We got no choice.
All right, great. All right, let's do it.
So the opponent's taking an interesting line with his short stack of betting small on the flop and small on this turn. And that kind of screams like marginal made hand, or at least, you know, a value bet. The problem is like, what hands would actually want to value bet small here? It's going to be like aces, I guess. If I'm against a whole lot of overpair type hands, then I guess I should just call, right? Obviously, you never know what your opponent's doing. Your opponent could just have like ace 7 and think it's good. But I think in general, when you see this line of small bet, it's going to be a lot of decent made hands that think they're value betting. And the problem here is that even though I do have top pair, I actually lose to a lot of those hands that are value betting. So I don't think I want to raise. So I think we just need to call. I think if we jam, it's going to result, or jam or raise any amount, it's going to result in my opponent mostly getting in with only better hands, and that would clearly be terrible. So I call. River's a 4. We're just going to check again. And now the opponent bets 2,100. Should we fold, call, raise to 4,600, or raise to 8,000?
Sweet googly moogly.
Value down.
Awkward as fuck, guys. Awkward as fuck. What are y'all doing?
Crying.
Crying? Don't cry. We have bankroll management and volume. It's okay.
By the way, to respond to somebody over there in your chat, Toe, they said exactly. Jeff Gem pretty much nailed it there. You know, they were just like, is he ever value betting like ace 9 here? But a tight player is not raising under the gun ace 9 the majority of the time. I think that's kind of tough to put that in his range there.
Ace 9 suited, the only combos, and there's not that many of them.
That's like it, yeah.
Agreed. Totally agreed. Hey, everybody's saying easy call.
Everybody's saying easy call. Wait a minute. Anthony says shrug call. Everybody's calling in. This is a travesty. Thank you for that raid, buddy. I really appreciate that, man.
I'll tell you this. I am heavily leaning toward fold.
It does seem like yeah, that's the thing is you're getting great odds, and the other thing is like he also does seem like he's buying your Uber to Value Town.
Yeah.
Like,
and even on his 9X now, like they all have better kickers. Like he tripled on a wet ass board. I got weak ass top pair. Like I would not show this table on stream and then fold. Pro tip for the streamers out there.
I love it. I've done things like that where I'm not really sure the spot I'm in, and I'm like, nobody needs to see this.
Oh, sometimes, or when I'm getting like extra sneaky, sometimes I don't show that table.
I wish I had the self-control to do that.
Away.
I do it all the time. I show every single bad call and mistake, so it's fine.
I show the mistakes. I got
all.
Cool animations for my punt, but yeah, you know, fuck, man, like.
You got me convinced, like, this dude just does not ever have a worst fucking hand.
What does he have that he triples? Like, you just check back river, right?
Oh,
like,
God, you're right. I kind of want to fold now. Like, why would he bluff small with ace, king, ace, queen, ace, jack, or something like that? And what worst value hands would go 1, 2, 3 on this board versus big blind from EP?
Hey, Jeff Jam with his 59th gift sub over to the main man, FatTrain. Thank you for the gift sub. Enjoy your Toe Army emote.
Hey, thanks, buddy.
That's awesome.
Fuck. We beat 6s, 8s, and 7x, and none of those should be betting the river because they should all check for showdown value.
I hate this, man. I want to fold. I think it's going to be very close between the two.
You guys feel free to fold. I will be the donkey calling station.
No, I mean we're getting 5-1. I mean, I mean 6-1. There's 12. There's 13 out there.
It's crazy talk.
See, I agree with Lester Drugs. He's like, well, we beat ace king, ace queen, ace jack. I know, but the problem is But yeah, but do all of the do those hands triple barrel on this board? That's what we're talking about.
Don't triple. The only thing that's got me calling is that it's an $11 fucking ACR tournament, and
Yeah,
I played those for
No, this isn't.
15
This is the
years,
1500.
and so I guess, and this may be one of the ones where I'm like, oh, you know what, fuck it. I'm like,
Oh yeah.
I got 7 million buy-ins for $11. Fuck it, rebuy. But like, man, this just feels so valued.
Wait, you have $77 million? That's sick.
Yeah, he's a baller
You
like
know,
that, man.
you
He just
see my
wins
week.
100% of the tournaments.
Yeah.
I'm convinced after last night, I'm just never going to lose again. It's great. Honest station.
Poker's easy.
Poker's easy. Yeah. Fuck, man.
I give it to you here. Oh, you're not gonna.
I understand the call. I feel like everything in my bone says fold. 77 million just on ACR. Drugs is folding. There's my buddy. That's why we go back so far, Drugs. You're with me out here on this island. Fuck, man. Like I said, everything in me wants to fold. I'm like, what the hell? I don't know what I beat.
All right, you're doing it.
I'm going with my gut. I'm gonna be.
You're folding.
Yeah, we've been going crazy all stream with, seeing what points are and stuff. This time, I would fold. I would definitely.
I'm gonna hit call because I'm gonna keep him honest, and then he's just gonna table like tens or jacks, and I'm just gonna cry and say nice hand.
Okay.
That's what's gonna happen.
Let's see what happens.
Go walk. Go. All right, we're calling.
Like we're
Let's
just
do it.
getting
He did call.
owned here by an overpair, right? The problem is that we're getting really good pot odds. Pot odds don't matter if you lose every time, though. This is one of these spots in live poker where if you have a read on your opponent, you can make really exploitative folds in this scenario. But look, I don't have great reads on any random opponent in a $1,500 buy-in tournament, so I think we have a pretty easy call. Would we ever want to turn this hand into a bluff? I think that would be pretty absurd as well.
This fuck's gonna turn
That's
over
why I
ace
think,
king.
8-5 or 6-5, maybe you could turn that into a bluff. But I'm just not bluffing. I'm just going to call and recognize we're going to lose the vast majority of the time to pocket jacks. I do call, and the opponent barely had me. 10-9 suited. What a bummer, right? I think you are going to see this line a lot. And I think the problem is that with your hands that are just like barely pipped by their random nines and whatnot, I think you kind of just have to pay against most people because they will randomly show up with nonsense. And every once in a while, they're going to show you 8-7 that they think is good. They're just betting for no reason. So even though we lost this hand, I don't mind it. I think we played it fine.
True.
I guess all things considered, we lost the minimum there.
Hold on. I happen to have Jonathan Little's personal Skype, and I'm going to write him a sternly written letter on this one. And here's my reasons why. He says pot odds don't matter if you're beat every time. We did the analysis and knew we were beat all the time. Jonathan did the analysis and said he was beat all the time, and he's like, well, I'm just going to call. And then he was fucking beat. And I got a goddamn 2. What the fuck?
And he said at the end of that, though, he said sometimes the opponent will show you like 7-8 or something like that.
So let me get this straight.
I mean,
like 5%
dude.
of the time he shows us 7-8, and 95% of the time
I'm sure you do something better, right? What did you get for that? What did you get for fold?
2 points. He got a 2.
You got a 2?
I got a 2, and I nailed it.
That just cost you $10, sir.
Oh yeah, I aced out that quiz. Just like perfect score. A pity, boys.
Jonathan, we're gonna have a talking. Uncle Jonathan, you're getting a phone call. All right, let's check it out. Justin, you want to pick a quiz?
Yeah, let me go back to the quizzes section. Jean Paul the Great over there in the chat. What's up, buddy? Long time no see. All right, let's pull this.
Over soon. Hope the stream is going. Thanks, Travis. And all right, cool. Let's Yeah. Is it my turn to pick? You picked that one?
Yeah, let me
Go ahead, Justin. Yeah, I want you to pick one.
Let's find something funky. Ooh. This one looks fun. This one's an $1,100 LAPC 1 mil commerce. 859.
859. Yeah, let's do it. Lexi, Gavin, we've been doing our quiz. Oh, we've done that one already. Unfortunately, we did that one last week.
Yeah,
we've done a couple of these.
Pick a better one. Here, I'll go down into the tank a little bit. I'll go down like 20 or 30.
Yeah, well, no, we've done so many. Like, maybe if you look at our screens, you
Oh, I
can
can
see which
see.
we've
Yeah.
done. Yeah, which ones we have scores
Yeah,
on.
you'd have to skip to like page, I don't know, 5 maybe.
Long time. But then we might get to the point.
7, 8.
Yeah, just let's try to do some newer stuff.
So it looks like you haven't done 855, the $1,000 tournament Pittsburgh with
Nope.
Queen Jack.
Let's do that.
Yeah, there's a reason for that sometimes.
Okay.
We can do Alex. It
All
looks
right, let's
like
do it.
most of these are either Alex or Jonathan. There's a Matt Affleck, 837.
Yeah, let's do this. I just hope it's not a 20-minute, you know.
Oh, 855, yeah?
Yep.
855, and we'll veto Alex if he goes crazy.
Okay.
All right, let's do it. Cool.
No, let me get there. Hang on 1 second.
Well, we're starting out at only
In
17
this
seconds, boys. We're doing good.
particular hand, you're playing
He's
a
gonna level us
$1,000
again.
Tournament in Pittsburgh. You have. In this particular hand, you're playing a $1,000 tournament in Pittsburgh. You have Queen Jack offsuit. It gets folded around to you. It's 5,100 at the beginning of the tournament. Would you like to raise to 200, 250, 300, or 350 here?
All right. What are we doing, boys?
Decision pre-flop. This is just, we're just opening, right? This is our open. There's nothing in front.
Yeah, I mean,
Exactly.
and this is a size thing. I've seen all three. I've seen 250, 350, and 300. Gunner says the largest possible as well.
So he's all in.
Yeah.
One's 5,100, and I'm ripping 10K.
Yeah.
300, 250, 350, 350, 250, 300, 200 for Casper, 350 or 100 bigs deep.
Right.
350, 350, 350.
For me, this is one of those standards, either 2x or like 2.5x raise. So I'm probably sticking in the 200 to 250 range. I don't feel the need to really go any larger than that personally.
Yeah, 100 bigs deep, I'm always going 250. Once we get down below 60, I start raising always. So I'm in the 250 camp as well.
Go play. No, there's no games. Go play.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for 2.5. I'll with you. We can build a little campfire with 250. I'm cool with
Yeah,
that.
and when we're deep, we want to size up a little bit, right?
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
good thing here is
250
that
will
we're in later position, so if we min raise, we're not going to get 6 callers, you know. But yeah. I know he's going to go more than min because Jonathan always goes more than min when he's this deep. So I'll give you a little.
Well,
bit
this is
there.
Alex, isn't it?
Oh, this
Yes,
is Alex.
Alex.
You're right. All right, so Alex might like
350.
do something gnarly. We don't know what he's going to do. I got a bunch of random ones in here.
No, not that.
It's early and all the bad players are still in. 350 says Jellyfish. I mean, I would go 250. 250 seems good. Sixes, what do you think? Uh-oh. I heard Pocket Fives come in the room. He may have muted.
Yeah, I'm typical with my 2.5x. You know, I mean, pretty standard. You know, you never know. You could run it into some sort of crazy 3-bet, and I'd rather lose less than more. And at the end of the day, I mean, you really are just holding Queen Jack here. It's not like the monster. Plus, if you always raise 2.5x, then you're just kind of disguising your range, whether you do have Ace King or a hand like 10 Jack, Queen Jack, something like that.
Absolutely. Who was that? That was Ruck. Thank you for the follow, buddy. Sixes, you back? Uh-oh. Is he muted? Did he fall off the face of the planet? Anybody watching his stream? Is he okay? Hey, America's Card Room in there, showing love to FatTrain.
No, it's actually me. Because I'm logged in like on my computer, and I don't want to log out because it's like
That wasn't
two-factor.
love you Train. That was love from Train.
Yeah, just saying hi, guys. And I feel bad because I think it was Jeff Gem gifted the sub in your channel to me, my account. I'm not even on it right now, but I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I do.
I was feeling all special. I got pump faked.
250 it is. Let's do it.
Oh, there he is. He's
Yeah, I had to move my.
Everything all right over there?
Oh yeah, man. He was
Kids
just
have
trying
all
to
their
play.
limbs and digits.
Man, these cats always need something. All right,
Let's
let's
click 250.
go.
I have now belabored this point in the last 3 quizzes, which is you want the big blind, who is the worst player at every table, who calls with the worst hands out of position and has the hardest time folding pairs deeper in the hand. You want this guy playing the biggest pot as possible, but I'm going to do it your guys' way one time. Okay, so we're going to do 250 here. I would prefer 350 here, but we'll do 250 and he calls. Now the board comes 10-9-5 and he checks to you. Would you like to check, bet 200, bet 300, or bet 400?
Sheesh. Good job for those who said 350.
Yeah, 250 was an 8, not a big deal, right?
Yeah, he said I think it's better to level your 3.5x range so you can 3.5x aces in the future pots.
Makes sense. I mean, I would still go 2.5, but yeah, it makes sense. I mean,
No, it does. Yeah, I mean, I'm still gonna be because
staying
I'm gonna
balanced.
be so wide, especially in something like this, that I'm just not gonna make it 350 every time. I'm gonna be playing so many pots that I want to use a smaller sizing for smaller SPRs, but I can get just kind of splitting your range sometimes and maybe going 350. But yeah, I'm always going 250.
Or you just always go 350 when you're this deep and then tailor it down.
And then tailor it way down. Yeah, that may make sense as well.
300, 200, 300, 400 in the flop. We got all the C-bet sizes. Found likes betting small and calling a raise. Ginger out there with 300. Ginger, you reminded me. Next week, right after the study session stream, we'll do the subby study group. So any of you tier 2 and tier 3 subs out there, mark it on your calendars. We'll do it next week on Saturday. 3.1 blinds would do it. Oh, wait, 3.1 blinds due to... You would do that and want to keep the best sizing the same.
Ooh, we got a lot of I mean, there's a lot of 3 and 400s. I think most people are going 3. It's like split between 3 and 400 in my chat. Travis is going 4, Dunner's going 3, Noisy's going 3.
I have
How about your
46
chat?
people in the stream and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 answers. Quiet, chat pros. Get out there. Let us know what you do. This is your chance. This is your chance. Casper coming out and says, likes 400, fold out some ace X.
Lucifer is going 300. This is going to be close. Personally, I don't mind 3 or 400. Obvious. I mean, not obvious. Sometimes even in game, I would even go 200. Honestly, if in real life, like if I was playing like this spot online, I'd probably go 200.
So 6 is just like chat. He's got all 3 bet sizes.
Yeah.
FatTrain, what are you doing?
You know,
like
it's interesting, right? So there's a ton of advantageous turn cards, right? Obviously, any queen or jack is cool. Hell, even a club might not be too bad. Obviously, a king or 8 nuts us. For me, it's weird because we already raised at 350, so now by doing a bet of 300, we're actually like down betting a little bit.
Yeah.
But I'm okay with 300. I think 300 is cool. It's a little over half pot. I think 400 starts to get a little aggro. But you know, whatever. I'm going 300.
Yeah, I think 400 is too much as well. But I think I would go 200 and call all raises. 200, what, 40% ish? 300 makes total sense. I think we're kind of nitpicking between 200 and 300 if you ask me. But,
Yeah, it feels so nitpicky to be arguing over 100.
Alex tends to do that too. He'll have like a 200, a 250, a 300, and a 350. Right? But like, yeah, I think I would go 200, call all raises, and then plan a double barrel. Like all turns, and then my double barrel size is going to be bigger. The good thing is that we go 300, we get value. Everything that's continuing is probably continuing for 300.
But I think we all agree that there's no checking here. We're c-betting. It's just a matter of how much, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
So here's a question. If we were 30 bigs deep, are you still c-betting and then going with it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm c-betting this all the time. I mean, for me, that's just like, because it's a huge flop for us, regardless that we didn't spike a jack or a queen. There's just so many great turns. And plus we get full equity. Like I'm c-betting all the time here. If I get check raise, so be it. We'll approach that when we get there.
Makes sense. Totally makes sense. If we 350, how is the pot 550? The pot has no raise in it yet. So this is just the 250. He went 250 and got called.
Yeah, we went 250.
In game, he
not
went 250.
350.
That's what happened.
Yep.
Casper.
I'm torn between 2 and 4. But yeah, I'm just gonna go. I know Alex likes to use big sizings. If you had aces on this board, would you go 3 or 400 for sure?
I would go 300 for sure.
Yeah. So I think on this board that's pretty well wet and connected. And he still is going to continue a lot, and he has worse draws and stuff like that. I think we would want to go bigger. I'm going to be the outliner and go with the 400 boys here.
Whoa,
Let's do it.
So I was saying 200. And
I'm
going 4.
I'm going 3.
So funny.
We got everybody. I'm going 4.
I just have a funny situation. Casper said, okay, I heard it was 350, and he spelled thought THOT. And that version of thought is a banned word on Twitch. I had to allow it, which I think is fucking hysterical. All right, cool. Shit, now you got me all confused between 200 and 300. All right, I'll go 200. Fuck it. Let's see what happens.
Let's do it. Yep.
This is
Please.
actually not as good of a board as
Bang.
it looks like, because anytime you have two cards 9 or higher, that's just all over most people's playing range, because people like to play high cards, not middle cards or low cards. But because the player called from the big blind and because our raise size was so small, it's such a large range that likely any bet will... He's going to have missed this board a good 50% of the time. So if you bet half pot, that needs to work about 33% of the time. 2/3 that needs to work 40% of the time. You're fine. I wouldn't bet 200 because most likely you would bet bigger with sets or two pairs, and you don't want to cap your range that way. So we go ahead and we go with 300 here, and 400 would have been fine as well. Would have been just fine. And just don't prefer checking or betting 200. So we bet 300, and he calls. The turn is the 2 hearts, and he checks. Would you like to check, bet 600, bet 1,000, or bet 2,100?
Get off all the mutes. All right, guys, we get called, and now I have to make a decision.
FatTrain said BRB, he'll be right back. I think he had to dip for a second.
No worries. I heard a ding. I was like, what? I looked at Skype, but everything was all right. So, brick turn for bat. Fallon is now checking 1K for Over Poker, 1K for Event Horizon. JPG is checking. What are you guys doing? D-Chips out there for 1K. What's your chat saying?
Yeah, we got I'm beginning Alex harped on big blind calling and calling down any pair. They have a pair. They aren't folding a pair. I am betting 1,800. Where's the 1,800 button raise? All right, he's going 1,800. 1K BQ says, take the free equity, in my opinion. I would check back here in real life. 1K, and check.
So
I'm seeing a lot
of
of
checks.
Yeah. How you feeling about this?
I'm going 600.
Me too. You know, I mean, yeah.
I don't think there's any reason to go pot. We need to go big, but I don't think pot is the answer. And I would not overbet because I really don't want to get jammed on and then have to fold. I don't want to play 100 bigs here with 2 overs in a gutter and 1 street to come. 2 streets is a little different, right? We have twice the equity. So I can see the arguments for checking and realizing the problem is when you check, if this guy is me, he's just going to go pot and a half on you on the river 1,000% because you never check the turn with an overpair or a 10. So you kind of turn your hand face up as a missed hand.
How do we win with queen high right now? And we can't really unless we improve on the river, which we have a lot of equity. And if we go 600 and he check raises and we're in position, I guess we can call knowing that if we improve to a straight, we can likely stack him if he bets into us. Yeah, so, I mean, if I go 1K and he makes it 3,500 or something like that, that really sucks, man.
Yeah. Jones, that's exactly what I was saying. I really don't want to cap myself here. So I would bet here and then potentially triple. It's going to depend on some rivers, but yeah.
I would like to I like the overbet option, but maybe not on this particular card. I don't think it changes much. It's not a dynamic enough card that changes range advantage as much.
Would you size up if it was a club like that?
The 2 of clubs maybe still not good enough to size up. Maybe if it was an ace of clubs, that would be very interesting, right? We put a lot of his range in a very tough spot.
I love that.
Yeah, we put a lot of his range, and we still have a shitload of equity there. So yeah. The main reason for the check is to avoid the check raise from them. Sure, but when they check river to you, you're just gonna turn queen high into a bluff on river if they check twice.
Yeah,
so
that makes a really weird storyline at that point. Fire, then check, and then fire the river. I'd be like, literally, if I'm your opponent, my WTF alarm goes off.
Yeah, snap call.
Yeah, you're getting snapped by a 9x in some cases. It's like
I was also saying, FatTrain, that if we check here, we cap our range, and if you're playing against me, I'm just gonna pot and a half you on every receive. I think river because you never have a 10 and you never have an overpair. When you check turn.
I think I'm going to lean towards 600 here. It's still more than we bet on the previous street. It still doesn't drain too many chips where if he comes in with some huge check raise, we can just get away. I think 2,100, like you said, overbetting is way too much. I don't really see the need to bet 1,000. I think the flush draw, if he's got a flush draw or something like that, he's going to continue for 1,000 as he would for 600. So as far as like getting the car for the cheapest possible deal, I think I fire 600 here. That's my answer, and I'm sticking to it.
Don't cap our range, and then like when we go 600 and the check raises 3x, it's 1,800. 4x is 24. If we go 1k and get check raise, 3x is 3k. 3.5x is 3,500, and it gets really expensive when we do get check raise in those spots. Obviously, they can go over that, but most people tend to go in the 3 to 4x ballpark. So yeah, I like 600 as well.
I agree.
Let's do it.
It's funny because the most popular bet here, I think, is the worst option, which is what most people do here is they bet 600. And my question is always, is it for value or is it a bluff? They say it's a bluff, and then I go, okay, what called the flop that is now folding the turn? Does a 10 fold to the 2 turn? Does the 9 fold to the 2 turn? Does even pocket 7s fold to the 2 turn? Do A-side club draws fold to the 2 turn? Nothing folds. So you can, that if you said I'm value betting my 2 overs with an open-ended straight draw, I don't think that argument holds water, but it holds much more water than the bluff bet here for 600, right? But I truly just don't think, the way people tend to play is they fold their high cards, they call with their pairs, they raise with their 2 pair better, especially on a coordinated board such as this. This guy most likely has pairs, and he is not folding to this turn card. Therefore, you either have to do a bet that could fold pairs, or you just need to check. So 1,000 doesn't really get the job done. 2,100 is very interesting here. There actually are a lot of poker theorists that do believe whenever your opponent's range here is, I believe condensed is the term they use, when it's mostly pairs like this, they think all your turn bets should be really big. So if you have jacks here, it should be 2,100, and when you have nothing here, it should be 2,100. I tend to believe in a low to mid-stakes tournament, you're probably not going to get a fold if you go to 2,100, even though theoretically it's a beautiful play in practice. It's one of those, it doesn't really matter how beautiful your theory is if it doesn't bear out in experimentation, if the data doesn't show it. It works, it probably shouldn't be done. And in this case, it's hard because you will see some folds. It's really hard to get a ton of data on overbets here, but it's kind of at low to mid stakes. I'm not loving what little I've seen. So I think we're going to go with a check here. So we go with a check, and the river is the Jack of Hearts, and Big Blind leads 400 here. Would you like to fold, call, raise to 1,000, or raise to 1,200?
All right, guys. Interesting. So the controversy here is the ranging, right? Alex said that 7s aren't folding, and I disagree. I think I can get 7s to fold on the turn. But if you don't think you're getting 7s and 6s to fold, then probably betting's not good.
Yeah, I felt like a coaching session where I just got grilled about a hand I played. Like I just had those that felt like I was getting coached by somebody, and they're telling me like, "Yeah, what the hell are you doing here? Are you, yeah." So it made a lot of sense, and I agree. I completely agree with them.
The problem is that when we check the turn, we just, with the exception of a jack or a queen on the river, like we already lost the hand on the turn. Like it's over.
Unless we get to this, but we get to realize a shitload of equity, and there are a lot of good cards for us,
sure,
right?
But there's only 6 outs twice, right? So we're like 12% of the time we're going to hit this kind of shit, and then the rest of the time we're fine. Oh, no, we have a king and an 8.
We have an ace. We have an ace, we have a king, a queen, a jack, an 8. Because an ace is just going to be a bluff card.
So that's roughly going to be 35, 40% of the time.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's good enough. If they're never folding their turn and we're setting chips on fire and then sometimes getting check raised. Yeah, I like it, man. I agree.
Pound says, Shrug, it's okay for me to lose the hand on a turn. I think the turn is where the money is, in general. I mean, I respectfully,
I know what you mean.
with all honor and praise, disagree. Betting the fucking turn. What are you guys doing here?
Well, this is interesting. So, what possible hands could he have that he got there? So obviously 7-8 then completes an open-ended. He could have had a hand in a world like Jack King, 2 overs and a gut shot, and actually be out kicking us now. Or he could have clubs that missed, or he could just have a random 10 or 9 that we get value from.
Jack 8 as well, you know.
Yeah,
A 10 that's kind of, you know, King 10 or something like that. Well, that would bet turn a lot. No, it would never lead turn. He would never lead into us on the turn. So maybe some 10x, some decent 10x as well. 10-8, 9-8. They're just betting for kind of it's a little bit bigger than a block bet, right? Him going like, it's like 30%. So yeah, it feels like there's just no reason to raise here.
Yeah, I mean, because the problem is we've all been in this spot where I raise and then all of a sudden they re-raise, they put in a huge 3-bet, and I'm thinking, why did I have to open the floodgates? I got a little greedy, and now shit's hitting the fan when I could have just called. You know,
it's a terrible feeling. Yeah, it's a terrible feeling to reopen the action and then him come back over the top here. And there's very few combos that we have beat that can call a raise on this river. Folding ain't never happening when we kind of disguised our range on the turn. Not disguised, but we've made our range pretty weak by checking turn. And we get there, we simply have to call.
Yeah, we all agree. Now, you said it agrees, Jellyfish, Arena, we all agree. Everyone agrees.
All right, I'm clicking fold. No, I'm just kidding.
Here comes the raise. Here comes the raise 10 points. Let's find it.
Guys, be aware of this. Whenever a guy bets like 400 here or bets something really small, that's like, can we please get to the showdown very cheaply? That's like a 10 or a 9 that doesn't love that jack, right? If he had 2 pair, he probably bet a little bit bigger. If he had just check called on the flop with king queen, he probably would have bet a little bit bigger. He's most likely fishing for a showdown with a 10 or a 9, so you got to raise an amount that you think a 10 or a 9 is going to call. So 1,000 would have been perfect. I tend to find when I raise here, people just get mad and they call whatever you put out there. So if you said 1,000 there, that's totally great. That's fine. But I'm just letting you know, poker player to poker player, I think you're good for going to 1,200. I never get a fold here. If I go bigger. Right. Obviously, if you go to like 1,600 now, you get folds. 1,400, maybe a few more so. But if you just go to the straight 3x, nobody folds. So go ahead and get that money. And it's really fun when you land one of those. You feel like everybody else would have called there, but I didn't. Feel like, wow, this is fun, right? Anyways, all right, guys, that's it for today. See you for the next one of these.
All right, so I'm going to give Alex a little props. This is a nice, short, and sweet, and concise.
I like that.
Set of videos. However, I disagree with all of them.
I disagree with a lot of it. Yeah. Opening up the action of the river. I get it. But we're turning a showdown value hand kind of into
a very and we could have got the value on the turn, and got a bigger pot here.
I mean, it's not like this guy doesn't have 7-8, some 2-pair. He's going to be checking all turns. Okay. But I understand when
we would have bet bigger than 400 on the turn and got more value.
Yeah, if we go 600 on the turn. We
win. Turn and then check back river. Right?
But he checked back turn. Alex checked turn.
I know, that's what I'm saying. And then and then he raised and got the value that way. But no one's no one's fucking raising but Alex. Literally, like the entire poker world is folding but Alex. So he got value that way, which is a fucking weird ass way.
It's just very interesting hand.
My dad says, "I'll take my 10 points in small bills, please." Well done. Yeah. Wow.
Weasley says, "I just don't think people are protecting their block bet river range enough."
Not only that, but he raised when the straight card came in too. So like.
What is like Queen 10 even beating the connect? Like this guy has to be just kind of weak. I don't know. Like Queen 10's beating nothing. I guess
Queen 10 on the flop. I'm literally dropping the mortgage payment, right? But outside of that, I'm like, what?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, like on this river, it's just like so many Jack X symmetry hands got there. When we bet 400, we just don't beat. In his spot, he just has to fold. I don't know.
So I have Jonathan's contact information, but I don't have Alex. So Matt Affleck, if you're out there, homie, I'm looking for the digits. We gotta have a conversation.
Yeah, we gotta have a conversation. We gotta have Alex on the stream Monday. That'd be.
I would love to.
I know. We probably have time for like what, one more?
Yeah, I think we have one more.
Like 20 minutes. Yeah. Awesome. Whose turn is it to pick?
I think it's yours, right? Man. Or yeah.
Oh, let's do it. Hold on, my shit's loading slow. I'm
It was
already
river
there.
block bet. The problem is that I don't think the block bet. I mean, I don't remember what tournament it was. I think it was a low stakes tournament, so maybe the block bet gets called there. But like, again, like I'm never calling there. So maybe that's a little bit of me like projecting. You know, that's possible. You know, one of the pitfalls of a poker player is if you project your thought process on your opponent, and
Yep.
they're not necessarily thinking the way you do. But I'm never fucking calling there. Like, Jesus.
Yeah, everybody in your chat there, straight up, they're like, if you get Alex on the stream, you better be pounding energy drinks because it's going to be like a 24-hour chat set.
That's true. We might have to do like a 2-parter, 3-parter or something.
Yeah.
Big Time Brown, what's up, buddy? He says he loves to stream with me and Sixes. Thank you, my man. We love doing them. And we
Yep,
are
good to see you,
fortunate.
buddy.
We get extra reps in because we study all the time anyways. We get to hang out with cool people like FatTrain. And, this is what Sixes and I do together every day, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Maybe not
it's kinda
quizzes
sick.
specifically, but, working on our game.
Yep. I'm gonna do this 860. 866. That's the one I clicked on before with the 10-5.
Yeah.
I get the point of the blocker bet now you said it, but I don't get the call. That's
I like the villains line as played. I fold the river raise though. Yeah, I like his bet. I mean, the villain played his hand just fine. But when he gets raised on the river, what is he beating for value? And then I guess Ace King might turn his hand to a bluff, but that seems even. I don't know.
thin. Paper thin. Which one?
Yeah,
You pick, Sixes? Where we at?
866.
866, Jonathan.
Yeah, the very top one. Yep.
All right, ready?
Yes, sir.
Here we have 10-5 offsuit. That's not especially what you want, but folds around to the small blind, who limps off of his 25 big blind stack, and we have 25 big blinds as well. Should we check, raise to 1600, raise to 2400, or raise to 3600?
Quick with my blind versus blind play is so, I don't know. It's either really good or really bad or super sporadic. Like I struggle in the blind versus blind game generally. I mean, I feel like I get put in really weird spots, and no matter what I do, it's always the wrong move.
Rin Play says live play is very different than online play. Yes, that's true, but at the same time, good poker is good poker.
Yep.
Fallon insta raising 3x. She snap raises.
Snap
And
raises
the
and
toe army
greater.
looking pretty aggressive, except for Red
Oh.
Dad, who is checking. Arena Run is checking. Jeff agrees. He also struggles with blind
I
versus
see.
blind. Casper's betting. Everybody's betting. Well,
I see one check, and everybody else is raising. Greater phase is tanking, reaching for chips, and then checking.
I like that.
I like that. Yeah, the tank, reach, and then check. That's awesome.
glare menacingly
Yeah, stare
at the
at
dealer,
him.
sip his Red Bull,
shuffle.
reach his chips, and check.
And then check.
Now, somebody in the chat brought up an interesting point too on your stream, Toe, where they said, like strong players can also limp big hands from the small blind because they know that big blind players can sometimes just spaz out. The old limp from the small blind, then big blind just rips and small blind snap calls with a monster.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the good thing about that is we just fucking fold. Like we
Just think about this.
This is the good thing about raising 10-5 because I'm raising too. I'm kind of with Fallon. I would snap raise 2400, and I'm going to raise all my junk, and I'm going to raise all my value, and then everything in the middle, I'm probably going to check back. So, like for example, I would probably raise 8-9 offsuit, but I'm probably going to check back 8-9 suited because I really want to see a flop with that and don't want to get, re-raised off of it like FatTrain was saying. So this hand's so junky that I'm just going to raise this here and go to 2400 and C-bet pretty much every flop and go from there. The 1600s out there, I'm definitely not min-raising. Because then we're really just bloating the pot and it doesn't do it. It doesn't really accomplish anything. Right? We don't get any folds here. It's okay to get a fold. We have 10-5.
Yeah, he gave no indication on whether this player was aggressive, loose, and whatnot. And I don't think we're full frequency doing anything here. But I can see raising because most people just complete their entire range with no plan, and a lot of people don't limp raise enough or limp call enough. Our hand is just dog shit, so we don't care if he comes over the top.
Nope.
And we can just rep real strong in position. A C-bet should take it down enough if he does call. So
now you said it, agreeing with everything I said.
But so you're raising. I am going to check.
What? All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna check.
Nick.
Yeah, pretty much. I would. I mean, I
This
definitely
is
would
a hand
raise
that
here
is
sometimes, but
certainly a
I'm
candidate to raise because it is so.
3x for me. Everybody's going 3x, but me and Peanut and BQ. Let's do it, boys. All right, I'm ready.
This is a hand that is certainly a candidate to raise because it is so bad. The hands I'm typically raising against a limp are either my absolute best hands that are just straight value betting, or my hands that are so bad to the point that I want to raise them as a bluff. I'll tell you, a really exploitative strategy I used and still use against weaker players is to raise to about 3 big blinds with my nut hands and raise to about 4 big blinds with my bluffs. That is especially strong if your opponents will call the 3 big blind raise every time and fold to the 4 big blind raise every time. And a lot of people will actually do that. So keep that play in mind. That said, I usually just... I'm often just checking in this scenario. I'm usually raising hands that are slightly weaker, like 9-3 offsuit. But whatever, you could raise this if you wanted. If you are going to raise, you do want to make it about 4 big blinds, though, to give yourself some fold equity. If you raise to a smaller amount, you're just going to get called every time, and clearly that's terrible. You don't want to get called every time. All right, flop comes 5-5-4, giving me effective nuts, and the opponent checks. Should I check, bet 800, bet 1600, or bet 2400?
So this is interesting. He said that he would likes, raising junk and all that stuff. He says this is a little too good, which is again like where we differ. He likes the bigger bet though. I can get that. The reason why I would go 3x is because our stack sizes. But if we were again 100 bigs deep, I'm definitely going 4x. So for any guys with that sort of question out there.
It's cool how he talked about splitting his range as well between the times he has a very good hand and the times he has like a hand he just wants to steal with. So I thought that was pretty cool as well.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, what are we doing now? All in for poker can't get the 800 out in the chat fast enough. Marlon going 16.
We got 800 because I'm always betting in this spot. Chat, give them some rope. They will fold to most bets. BQ says, Jean Paul, baby. What's up, my dude? 800 noisy mind. What's your chat? You seeing some checks? I see a check and a bunch of 800s.
I see a 1600 from Machine Gun.
Oh,
and then
of
a
course.
bunch of checks. A couple 800s. A few 800s straggling in here.
800 seems legit.
It does.
Yeah,
I also wish I would have raised pre so I can get more value.
I guess enough at a time. Like to stack this guy, we're gonna have to start betting now. Otherwise, we run the risk of only stacking him when he improves the hands that may beat us, right? With straight draws and flush draws, we don't block any straight flush draws or too many 6-7, 7x, 6x. So yeah, I'm just gonna be betting 800 here personally.
Hey, Nudist, what's up, buddy? Yeah, the problem with the 1600 is that like we just get so many folds.
It hurts. Yeah, it hurts.
So many folds. What do you think, FatTrain? Did you?
Yeah, it's weird. It's one of those spots where I mean, like the standard newer player answer is probably just to be like, we're going to check here all day because we're trying to be sneaky. But that, like, everybody does that now. Everybody knows that, okay, I got trips, I'm going to check. But likewise, I do like a check because then, like other people in the chat are saying, it gives them rope to start firing since you have position. So I could also get behind just like a check flat, blah, blah, blah.
Sure.
So in this particular case, I see the merit in either min betting 800 or checking. The funny thing about min betting 800 is that it also is very polarizing if you do that on a pretty consistent basis on this board texture, because then it's like you're either going to take it down when they have nothing or you're going to show up with trips.
Yeah, I think I do it 100%.
Yeah, so I'm okay with a check or 1800. You're right. I think anything more than that, you just get so many auto folds, and the one time that they click back, they have you like out kicked with like an ace 5 or something, and you're just like, well, shit,
Yeah. Cool, let's do it.
800 for me.
I'm gonna go check on this one.
All right, cool.
This is definitely a spot where you normally want to make a bet. The only time you should check here is if you can just really tell your opponent.
He likes the bigger bet because it's corded enough where he thinks he's going to a lot of continues with the clubs and the straight draw.
You might as well check, because if they're drawing effectively dead, then you let them draw, right? And to be done with a hand in a limped small blind pot it basically means the opponent does not have a draw of any sort. Because if the opponent did have even like 6-2 here, he's not just, oh, I'm totally missed, I'm folding. Unless he's a very nitty player. So this is a spot where I'm usually going to make a bet of about 1,600, which is probably the bet size I would make with most of my hands. With the overcard bluffs, you don't really care if your opponent folds. With the nut hands, you don't care if your opponent calls. If you're trying to be, I mean, really, like if you think about it, it's very easy for the opponent to have some sort of draw here. And if the opponent has any sort of draw, you don't really want to bet minimum because then you're giving him good odds, right? So I like a 1,600 bet in this scenario. This time I checked, though, and that must have meant that I had some sort of read that the opponent was done with it. Turns to 3-8 clubs, which is about the worst card in the deck. And now the opponent bets 1,000. Should we fold, call, raise to 2,000, or raise to 3,500?
Yeah, that is on the list of turns I don't want to see. That's near the top.
Yeah.
What did you get for the check?
8.
The check
no,
was
for the
6
check.
points. 6 points for the
8
check.
for the bet.
8 for the 800. Yeah. 1,600 was a 10. That's surprising to me. He would want to go much bigger when we're going to be betting a lot. I guess he wants to just maximize his fold equity the times he is bluffing with like a high card or something on this board because it's easy for him to have draws. But at the same time, I'm going to be betting so frequently. Maybe we just make a small stab. But I can see what he says.
I can see sizing up because of all the continuing draws and all that stuff. But the thing that surprised me a little bit was he was betting with his bluff that big with his bluffs too, and I don't think we have to, right?
No, I mean, he says it's easy for him, but he's in a small blind and he just completed. He has such a wide damn range. He has like King 2 here and shit like that, you know?
800
like
will work against that.
Stabbing. Yeah. I mean, he just has random King high, Queen high, Jack high, 10 high hands, even on this board. So I got it. I understand. Weasley says fold. Stop trolling, bro. Stop that trolling.
Snap fold. He's got the straight flush all day. Get out of there.
So I'm seeing call. I'm getting in a time machine, raising pre and betting flop.
FatTrain, you were in a team check. What are you doing on a board like this? Just calling?
So yeah, I think I'm just gonna flat here for a variety of reasons. One is we've already kind of put ourselves in this spot where we bet 1,600 and then he snap calls. So he obviously has some sort of piece of this, right? He fires $1,000 into us. I think if we start raising, not only do we open the floodgates, but then we also start bloating the pot way more than we really need to. So I'm totally cool with just a flat here, and then hopefully the river runs out in our favor. Obviously, if it runs out a deuce or a 6 or a club, we hate life, but we get away way cheaper than doing it this way. So I'm just gonna flat.
Yeah, and we also like our small chance of value timing ourselves when we're at peace, when everything completes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think we get to raise this turn and start blowing this pot because when we raise any rejams, there's a few worse 5x, but some of those 5x combos is like 5-6 with the 6 of clubs or something. You know, we're just not thrilled when we get all the money in here ever.
Agreed.
So yeah, I'm calling.
All right.
This turn card's actually so bad to the point that I think I need to only call. The problem with raising is if I raise and get re-raised, I cannot fold. Yet, I very easily could be drawing thin here against a flush or a straight or even a better 5 randomly. Obviously, that goes completely against the flop read I must have had to check this flop. But hey, it's important to realize your reads are not going to be accurate all the time. Something a lot of people think is that because they think something, that it must be accurate. And like right here, I can tell you, if I check the flop, I thought the guy didn't have anything. But now the guy's betting. If the guy's betting it, he either has probably nothing or at least a pretty good hand. I mean, he could be betting with just like Jack of Clubs 6 or Jack of Clubs 8, right? Certainly that's something he could be doing. But if he has that, I can call turn and then probably fold river, right? That said, you all know me. I tend to call on 4 flush rivers. All right, so anyway, I'm not folding this, but at the same time, I think if I raise and get much action, I'm going to be in very bad shape. And, calling's nice because if I randomly drill a 5-4-3, then my opponent may be on the hook for a lot of chips when he does happen to have a hand like Ace-3 that thinks it's value/protection betting. So I like calling. If I am going to raise, though, I do want to raise on the slightly larger side, like 3,500, just to make sure I'm not giving my opponent great odds to call with all the clubs. River's a king, and now the opponent bets 2,000. Okay. Should we fold, call, raise to 5,500, or raise to 7,500.
All right, guys. Anybody raising this river? And if so, how much? Tones just calling. Nice that it just calling.
Call town. Everybody's saying call. Haven't seen a raise yet.
Call for all in poker. Call.
Now it depends. If I'm Alexander Fitzgerald, I'm raising all day here,
For
right?
And you got to go, what? You said 6K, they never fold for 3X?
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to make a case for raising, but man, he can certainly still have a handful of better 5x to check and try to want to check raise or something like that. Flush draws that were planning a check call or check raise that got there. Couple funky little straights. I just can't. Yeah, I think we just call. Like, I'm trying to figure out if we can raise, and then if we get jammed on, can we ever call that? Hell no.
No, you can't. I'm totally with you on that. I think this is just a flat for me all day. Play it safe. I don't see any reason to raise here.
Marlon thinks he has 2 overs, backdoor flush draw, maybe 6, something like that. So does that mean you're raising or calling, Marlon? Right, that's
We
calling.
beat all that we beat for value is king of clubs. I mean, no, we beat 5, 6, 5, 7. No, we don't. 3, 5s. Yeah, we do.
Barely, yeah.
Yeah, barely. We do have a few 5x hands outkicked. And on a paired board, we may get honest responses, and he's only jamming a boat, right? So, yeah, but at the same time, I don't know. It's either 55 or call for me, but I'm most likely just going to go call. Like, we could raise fold this, right? Couldn't we go 55, get called by worst trips, a 4x or something
it's
like
just
that?
6-5, 7-5, and 8-5 that are worst trips. 9-5.
Yeah.
Yeah, and plus, I mean, we have, I mean, other than, I guess, the betting patterns here, with the way it played pre, I mean, it's blind versus blind. We essentially don't have nearly as much information about their hand as we'd like. So, I mean, hell, they could even have like 5-4, 5-3, and they were trapping us the whole time. So I'm never raising here. I'm just flatting.
It just makes me sad to have to. Well, we lose a few worse hands. Maybe he heroes off with something as well. But at the same time, we're raising river. He might even just flat a small flush here on his board if we were to raise this river, But yeah, I just want to call, I guess. I want to raise to 5,500. I'm trying to make a case in my head to do it, but.
So I walked Machine Gun and asked if he was raising this. He said yes, 5,500. He thinks he has 2 overs with a backdoor flush shot, maybe something like ace-6 or a big club. So he's betting. And then I said, betting for value. He said yes. And then I said, none of the hands on his list of hands are calling for value. So that's why we don't bet the value.
Raise fold seems legit. Not many can bluff on this board. I know, man. I'm really thinking about going 55. Trying to eke out a little value from like an ace 4, king 4, worse 5x, and then folding when he jams his boats. But
just too few 5x, and then he had to back his way into some weird king, right? So,
I'm raising. I'm just gonna
You're gonna do it, yeah? Because I mean, you raise
stack, but you're not getting your value betting into a range you're not getting value from, Marlon. That's the point.
Yeah, I just think there's a handful of worse 5x. I don't think he's going to shove like too much other than a boat, and then maybe the nut flush, but a flush would probably even just call here. So yeah, I'm gonna try it. Fuck it.
You're gonna try and raise it?
Yeah, I'm raising the 55.
You dirty birdie.
I'm trying.
He's like, fuck it. Toe already lost today. His $10.
So you are buried. You got buried today, but I can't lose. Let's just do it.
Let's do it. All right.
Ace folds it is.
When the opponent bets 2,000 on the river, this definitely screams marginal made hand. Because you have to think the opponent would bet bigger if he had a flush or a straight or trips even. Just to try to get called by random 4-type hands. That said, maybe the opponent, if he does have a good hand, thinks that I'm only going to call 2,000 with middle pair, and I won't call more with middle pair. So this is one of these tough spots. We're in this weird guessing game where I probably have the best hand, but every once in a while I don't. I do think, though, when the opponent bets the turn and the river, I do need to start being at least a little bit cautious. And especially with a shallow stack, there's a lot of value in just hanging around and conserving my stack. So I think I prefer calling in this spot. Notice if I raise and get jammed, it's just miserably bad. Obviously, he could just have a hand like 7-5 that I would love to get value from, but I think sometimes we're just going to be beat here. One other thing worth mentioning is whenever you have a read,
let's say on the flop I did think the guy had nothing for some reason. Don't know why. But now on the turn in the river, I for some reason think the guy has a good hand. Or if I make a read, or I develop a read, and now the opponent is now playing the hand like he has a good hand, it usually means the guy's just like really polarized one way or the other. Because either it means he did something that subconsciously tricked me into thinking he had nothing on the flop, which means like a reverse tell, right? Or it just means he's totally bluffing nonsensically, which, you know, if I raise, he's not going to put more money in the pot anyway. So for that reason, this is a situation where when that kind of thing happens, I typically go into cautious mode, and that's going to result in me calling in these spots more often than other lines. Anyway, this time he has Jack 5, and we managed to not lose a whole lot of money, so clearly this could have gone a whole lot worse if I just bet the flop.
So all in all, I did okay on that. I borked
All
my
right, guys.
pre-flop flip, but
We
yeah.
did it.
I got a
First study
3.
session in the
Hell
books.
yeah, baby. Yeah. That was
out
fun,
there?
man. Yeah, I'm out here. Can you hear me? You got me muted, so.
Am I muted? Am I being weird?
No, you got me
Turn my
muted.
volume down? I did.
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm a fucking idiot.
I was like, I know you got me.
I'm like, I
Right,
see
guys.
the mixer moving, yet I'm in a quiet room by myself. Yeah, man. Another one in the books, guys. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you, man, Justin. Guys, make sure to give him a follow on Twitter, and I know he's going to start streaming for the ACR channel, hosting a show here pretty soon, so stay tuned for that. Buddy, I got to say, I really appreciate what you do for the poker community, and I'm a big fan as well. I think you do great work on the commentary side, man, and something I'm trying to get into, so I look up to that, man. Good job, buddy.
Yeah, I
Hey,
appreciate
thanks,
you,
Bob.
man. Thanks for jumping in on this and joining us, and it's fun as always. We gotta hang out again soon.
This was a blast, and I'm glad we didn't torch off with our 10-5 versus the Jack 5 here. That could have been rough.
That could've
What
been
you trying to
rough.
say? Why you got to needle me like that?
Whoa,
Why you
I'm
gotta
just
needle me
saying.
like
I'm just
that?
saying.
I'm just saying. You son of a bitch. No.
Cool. Guys, exclamation point PC in my chat, exclamation point PC in Six's chat. You will get a link to get access to this content for free. 20 quizzes, a bunch of homeworks, pick line charts for 100 blinds or more. Plus, there are multiple webinars a week. There are staking opportunities. It's great, great content. And if you want to go for the premium, you can upgrade and get access to the whole array of stuff, which is just fucking massive. And the cool thing about these quizzes that we don't really ever talk about is like you get these points, and when you get points, you can spend those points to unlock other quizzes. So they kind of make it like video gamey for you video game nerds out there, where you can earn points to get more content, to get better, to get more content, to get better, to get more content, to get better. So check all that out. I also record these, so you can see this one and every one we've ever done on my YouTube channel. I will put the exclamation point YouTube in the chat for you, and I will put any links to get in touch with FatTrain on there as well. If you have any questions for any of the ones in the past or this one, feel free to comment in YouTube, and I will make sure all these guys get that and get you some answers. Justin, anything you want to promo or talk about before we sign off?
Not really, man. I had a blast doing this with you guys. This is a lot of fun. So I'm glad the chat gets to be part of this, and this is great. I love all the back and forth. I think it just makes everybody better, and it's a net positive. So thanks a lot for having me.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for joining us. Welcome back anytime.
Yeah,
Sweet.
thank you, Ben. Have a good one, and we appreciate you. Thank you, buddy.
All right,
All right, talk to you guys
send me
soon.
your chat so I can give them my hard-earned money.
Yeah, we're gonna be sending everyone in my chat over to Toes. We won the battle today. But yeah, I'll go ahead and ship that over. Make sure to give my man Toe a follow. He's been on fire. He works his ass off, and we love to see it. So do your thing. Thank you guys. I'm probably gonna take the night off. Come back tomorrow for a big ass session. So we'll do that. And yeah, Toe, hit me up after this. Talk to you, buddy.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll do business.
Later, guys.
See you, buddy.
man. All right, guys, we're here. Let me get the giveaway set up, and then we'll do some of this talking stuff. Stream elements. Login. Waiting for the host from Sixes. Magician, what's up, buddy? Fancy Fingers, thank you for the follow. Erdna, thank you for the follow as well, guys. We do the study stream every single Saturday. Me and Six as always, and we have a variety of guests. We have another guest next week that we'll announce on Monday. So make sure you tune into that. Like I said, this is on YouTube. Follow us all on Twitter, !social in the chat to get the Twitter, at FatTrain for his social, at Crazy Sixes. I think it's Crazy Sixes 66 on Twitter. So make sure you do all that. My man Six is coming in with the host and a 23-month resub. Fire, fire. Thank you. The Smeef, thank you for the follow as well. And I will be playing a little later today. I'm going to take a few hours break, and then we are going to be back on the Royal Flush Radio 3-year anniversary session. We're going to play a small session. We're going to play that and very little else. And then we'll be back tomorrow for the big giant session and play all that stuff as well. So, all right, guys, let's get this giveaway going. I got it. We got follows and stuff coming in like crazy. I appreciate y'all. I'll say thank you in a second. Let's do the $10 poker coaching giveaway. Will cost 0. Subs will get a little less. We'll give them 2% chance. Max Sick is on it. So exclamation point ticket with no S at the end. Space Max will get you into the giveaway, and it is rolling right now. So we'll give you a few minutes to join, and then I will send you. Thank you, Jeff, for hitting this up for me, buddy. I appreciate you. Weezy Night, thank you for the follow as well. I'll give us a few minutes to run. You can see exclamation point ticket Max coming in the chat, so just copy and paste that bad boy, and you will be in the game giveaway. If you win the giveaway, make sure you whisper me your either ACR screen name or your PayPal email address, and I will make sure you get your $10 immediately. So make sure you do that. And figuring out who I'm going to host next. And I think I know who it's going to be. So we will get that prepared and ready to go. While you guys are doing that, we can do social. We can do PC. We could do follow. We're going to spam you with ads real quick. We're signing off, goddammit. There's all the links to everything you can possibly need. Tiff Jam sending me a whisper.
Booyah! We don't die.
VR504 coming in. We don't die, we multiply. Patreon, no. No. Coaching, we got that one. If you want private coaching from me, we have teamed up about 20 people on the team right now with other 2 or 3 that are schmoozing. They got some questions, maybe joining. So that's available for you too. All right, I see Ticket Max still coming in here. So I'm gonna give it another couple of seconds. And they seem to be dying down. So we're going to kill the giveaway. 27 entries is what it is. Winner is Rad Dad Poker Extraordinaire. Congratulations, buddy. Hit me up somewhere. You know where to find me. Let me know how you want your money. And tune in later for the Royal Flush radio stream. And I am going to throw the host over to Gripst. Evan Jarvis, another pokercoaching.com coach. Go give him that love, and I will see you all in a few hours. Peace.